Worldwide Hippies presents Hippie News and Stuff with Winston Smith and the Worldwide Hippies News Team.
Welcome to Hippie TV News and Stuff for the week of February 1st. Brought to you by worldwidehippies.com, citizen journalism on the web. I am Winston Smith. SOPA, PIPA no BFD. Cocksman behind bars. The dog's found religion and loses it. Ed Croft has family issues. Hippie woman plays with a band. The Mikel K Hour. Do you believe in magic? If not, explain Keith Richards still being alive. Dead Dolphins Act 2, our asshole of the week, and more. Top story. SOPA, PIPA, an ACTA of deception. After the great internet blackout January 19th, and all the chest thumping of victory in defeating both pieces of legislation that were designed to censor freedom of the internet, the people finally feel like we've won one for a change. At least from the media, mainstream and progressive, pundits, left and right, it would seem so. But over in Europe, the protests and the boycotts are growing, and it's getting violent and more authoritarian in some countries. These protests are not about austerity cuts to the poor and middle class. Those protests have been violent and ongoing for more than a year in many European countries. Greece, Italy, France, UK, to name just a few. No, these are protests in the streets in over 30 more countries against Anti-Counterfeiting Trade Agreement, or ACTA, a joint agreement for the purpose of establishing international standards on intellectual property. Standards set by and punitive powers given to corporate and financial institutions. Similar to SOPA and PIPA here, without judicial safeguards for individual rights. So why should we worry about ACTA here in the United States after defeating all these bills? Because President Obama had already signed on to the International Internet Control Treaty, ACTA, in October 2011. It may be news to you, but President Obama used an executive agreement rather than having it authorized by Congress. This is a binding agreement. ACTA makes SOPA and PIPA look like small problems. It allows the most repressive nations and corrupt corporations to demand that Internet service providers, ISPs, remove content or even whole websites upon demand. And penalties will be enforced by the World Trade Organization. Yes, the WTO. Picture China or Halliburton demanding removal of a website criticizing some policy or action or evil deed done by them. Quoting an article from Op-Ed News, civil society groups and developing countries were excluded from discussions during ACTA's development, a classic example of policy laundering. The treaty will restrict fundamental civil and digital rights. The negotiations were classified as secret in the United States on the grounds of damage to the national security, if the people found out. Apart from the participating governments, an advisory committee of large U.S.-based multinational corporations was consulted on the content and the drafting of the treaty. The treaty calls for the creation of a corporate control committee to make amendments for which public and judicial review will not be required. Industry representatives may have conciliatory input to any amendments. As of today, 22 European Union countries, most of the European Union, has ratified ACTA. Here, our president, with the wink from Congress, did so with a stroke of a pen 4 months ago. This is a perfect example of 1%er bipartisanship on a global scale. Now it's time for our new segment, Good Cop, Bad Cop. Meet Mansfield, Ohio City Police Officer Mark Perry. 2 weeks ago, Perry heard about a shortage of food at the local food pantry. He decided to do something about it. Perry organized a city food drive that challenged fellow city employees and area local residents to contribute non-perishable items. Boxes were set up all around the city as well as inside City Hall. Perry initially planned to donate a portion of his paycheck each week to the food pantry, but thought that it might not be enough to make a difference, and he came up with the idea of the food drive. I thought this would be a good opportunity to do something in a bigger way, he said. God calls on all of us to help the needy. Police Officer Mark Perry, you're a good cop and a good man. Now meet Melvin Robinson. He's a police officer, at least he was when he was arrested, in uniform and in his patrol car. Robinson is charged with attempt to possess controlled substances with intent to distribute. Ex-police officer Melvin Robinson, bad cop, bad man. Now, Constable of Consciousness, here's the doc.
Hola, Winston, hippies. Paz in El Barrio. Thanks for the kind words, Bubba. Bugs, you know how we do. But you didn't think they had signs in Louisiana, did you? There's some really bad shit going down in that town in Rhode Island where a young, free-thinking student caused a revered and iconic representation of a Catholic prayer to be removed from its prominent place in the school gym where it had hung, happily violating the separation clause for 49 years. The brave student is named Jessica Alquist. She's the 16-year-old daughter of a firefighter and a nurse, and she has since become the object of a public obloquy from across the community, from Cranston's pulpits to its paper. She has received threats even on her life from residents and outsiders alike, and she is standing up to it bravely, promising to walk across the stage for her 2013 graduation. I hope, but I doubt that she makes it. Don't mistake me, I have no fear that unless actual ill befalls her, she will graduate somewhere, but I doubt it will be in Cranston, Rhode Island. Outside a prisoner and the military, there is no place like school where they can fuck with you if they wanna, and it sounds like they wanna in Cranston. For some reason, there also appears to be individuals in the world who do not regard the assaults, both real and threatened, from citizens and her fellow students and the religious hierarchy of the local Catholic Church upon a 16-year-old girl who just happened to have blown the whistle on an illegal compulsory school prayer, as bullying. Some commentators on Facebook discussions on the matter have poo-pooed the severity of the charges being leveled at the people attacking the girl for bullying them. One fellow suggested that unless she was actually suffering physical pain, then it wasn't bullying. And another fellow suggested that you had to be wary of these things because there were a lot of wussies out there who complain about anything if their widow feelings get hurt. And I disagreed loudly. Both that you had to be injured and there to be bullying, and that there are a lot of wussies around today. There really aren't. What I think that there has started to be is enough awareness of the issue of bullying that a lot of people who were tired of getting pushed around by assholes decided to say, look, stop it, asshole. Now, I know I can't stop you alone. We both know that, and that's why you're bullying me. But a lot of people don't like an asshole, so quit it, or something like that. I was pushed around as a kid, a lot. Got beaten up, mugged, robbed, threatened, humiliated, almost daily for 2 years in one certain school in Cleveland, Ohio. And there was nothing I could do about it, because that behavior was normal for the time and the place. 1959. Sounds about right. If I'd had a rocket launcher, I'd have blown the fucking place up. See you at the beach.
If I had a rocket launcher, some son of a bitch would die.
Thanks, Doc. I'll come to a revival anytime you're speaking, man. And now, here's Ed Croft.
Oh, hey, Winston. How are you? You know, I've been kind of down lately. All this negativity that we're seeing. I mean, people trashing the president, no respect for the office of the president at all. You know, I may not agree with a lot of things he does either, but, you know, at least I have respect for the office, and I'm willing to let him try, you know, but they don't. They just trash him, and they blockade, and they're standing up for these Republicans who, you know, I don't know. See, my major problem is I've got this vision of the world in my head. I've got this world where, you know, it's a world of beauty, it's a world of harmony and balance, where we all are there to help each other. Think about that for a moment. What does it really take to help each other? To hold out your hand to another person? I mean, part of the problem, I think, is that we've become so disconnected from each other. We forgot that we're family. That we're all the human family. Brothers and sisters all. We seem to have forgotten that. I mean, how many of you walk down the street and actually wave to other people? People you don't even know. But yet, jump on a motorcycle, go down the road, see how many guys and gals wave to you. They have a sense of brotherhood, sisterhood there. I belong to a group where part of the tenet is that, you're brothers, you're all brothers, and that you're going to reach out for each other. If a brother is in trouble or needs help, you're going to be there for them. If it's within your power, you're going to help them out. And if if they pass, you're going to help their widow. You're going to help their orphans. You're going to be there. And it's a sense of brotherhood. But it doesn't seem to translate outside. The motorcyclists, they wave to each other, but do they really wave to each other, or do they fight for humans outside of that? I really begin to wonder if we even remember what it's like to be a family. We need to connect. We need to see each other as brothers and sisters, and then we won't be standing there going, hey, you lost your job, but I think that you're just a druggie, and you're lazy, and you're not really looking, so piss in a cup or we're not giving you a dime. That's so lame. That's not being a brother. That's not being a sister. That's not being family. We gotta open our hearts. My heart to your heart. One heart, one spirit. Back to you, my brother.
Thanks, Ed. Love you, man. Can I have my own room? Well, the boss dropped into the studio this week with some great news. All right, I'll get to it. He would have announced it himself, but Mr. McAvoy fell ill and had to leave early after Ed fed him a tofu and head cheese sandwich for lunch. I'm getting there. Thanks, Ed. I owe you one. So I guess it's up to old Winston Smith, #1 anchor and star of Hippie TV news and stuff, to hold it together and, as usual, single-handedly rescue worldwide hippies once again and go above and beyond, the extra mile, if you will.
We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
Okay, speaking of cockfighting, Boynton Beach, Florida. City police officer arrested Danny Pham, 36, again. He's been on probation for a past arrest for cockfighting in 2009. During that arrest, Cocksman Danny Pham told police he was unaware of cockfighting happening at that moment in his backyard. After the police stopped laughing, they asked Cocksman Danny Pham to explain the 89 roosters, transport boxes, and the semi-pro makeshift arena in his backyard, along with the refreshment stands, food carts that were selling to the capacity crowd. He pled guilty, placed on probation, fined, and told never to bring chickens into the city limits again. But the story doesn't end there. Last week, police were alerted that Pham was at the post office acting strangely. The officers allegedly observed Pham pick up a white square box with holes in it. The officer stopped Pham as he walked to his car. Pham told the officers that the box contained new sneakers. After the cops stopped laughing, they asked Cocksman Danny Pham to explain the markings on the box that read "Live Animal" and the beak that was sticking out. Cocksman Danny Pham then said the bird was not his chicken and said that he was picking it up for a friend. The animal was confiscated and turned over to Palm Beach County Animal Care and Control. Cocksman Danny Pham was confiscated and turned over to Palm Beach County Jail, just in time for a dinner of chicken nuggets and hush puppies. And here, with some poetic nuggets, is the 3-minute-long Mikel K Minute.
Yeah, then we'll go to the gym, and after the gym we'll drink some orange juice, and it'll just be so peace and love, peace and love. Oh, excuse me, I'm talking to Joan. Hey, Winston, how are you today? Sorry about that, folks. Caught me mid-guard. It's Mikel K Poet here for worldwidehippies.com, the news, the hippie news. I want to show you something here. This is my old pair of glasses, which are still good, but Joan hates these. What do you guys think about that? Huh? Is it sort of Clark Kent meets Jim Morrison, maybe? I don't know. You know, I'm thinking Clark Kent wouldn't have had the hair. And I don't think Morrison got it this long either while he was alive. Or these, the kind of John Lennon spec look. They have a bifocal thing going there. I'm going to have to learn how to use them, you know. Anyway, we got a couple poems for you. Just happen to have them here at the Mikel K Minute. This first one's called Touch Me. We're on our own, we're all alone, even stuck in traffic, even while standing in line, even when shuffling our feet inside a crowd. But we don't have to stay alone. We've got our cell phones and the internet with which to stay in touch. Isn't that a pleasant thought for some people? That some of us would rather stay in touch on the internet than in person? Guilty. Sorry, guilty. This is called This Morning. There are no poems in me this morning, so I might as well have a bite to eat. There are no poems in me this morning, so I might as well feed the dogs. There are no poems in me this morning, so I might as well read the news. There are no poems in me this morning, so I might as well run errands. There are no poems in me this morning, so I'm going to feed the turtles. There are no poems in me this morning, so I might as well make love to you. Which will it be, Joan? Feed the turtles first or make love to you?
Me.
Joan's hollering and waving, me, me, me. And, you know, conveniently have a poem called I Want to Sleep with a Girl. And I'm not saying who it was written about, but it's a recent poem. I want to sleep with a girl. I want to sleep with a girl, a sweet, sweet, beautiful, and intelligent girl. I want to sleep with a girl. I want to sleep with a girl who has a smile as bright as the sun. I want to sleep with a girl who has lots of fun. I want to sleep with a girl. I want to sleep with a girl who likes to run from conventional things. I want to sleep with a girl not into diamond rings. I want to sleep with a girl. I want to sleep with a girl, and that girl is you. And this last one today on the K Minute here on Worldwide Hippies is called How Many Hail Marys? It's not Saturday, but I keep thinking that it is Saturday. It keeps feeling like it's Saturday. The cat still sits in the kitchen waiting for their breakfast snack, which I have forgotten to buy. Cats can really work you, make you feel guiltier than a priest does, pounding his pulpit on Sunday. That's what my cats Jagger and Cobain do to me. They make me feel worse than the priests used to in the church. Anyway, back to you, Winston.
Thanks, Michael. How fast time flies. Do they? Do I? Do we?
Do you believe in magic? Do you believe in magic?
Thanks, Winston. Hola, hippies. I got a crazy one for you this week. We have a Oklahoma lawmaker who wants to stop Pepsi from using aborted fetus cells in soda flavoring research. Yep, you heard that right. In order to simulate various flavors in processed foods, some food manufacturers are actually using aborted fetus cells to test and produce these artificial chemical enhancers that millions of Americans consume every single day. Concerned about the ethical and moral implications of such a process, Oklahoma Senator Ralph Shortley has introduced new legislation to prohibit this practice from occurring in his home state. Cinemex, a California-based biotechnology company that specializes in developing food flavorings, is one such company that uses aborted embryonic cells to create isolated human taste receptors, which are used in the production of food chemicals, and this company has partnered with several major food manufacturers, including Kraft, PepsiCo, and Nestle. The insanity continues. Thanks, Winston.
Nice shirt, Magic. Ed told me you went in my locker, man. And this, deja vu. More dead dolphins wash up on southeast Louisiana's coast. No, this is not a rerun from last February's report from Worldwide Hippies on dead marine life in the Gulf. It's an addendum. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration calls it an unusual mortality event in the northern Gulf. And next month it will mark 2 years since this began. The tally so far, 630 dead. A bit misleading. The 630 dead flippers were only from a portion of the Gulf Sea coast. Scientists are not allowed in some areas, and an unnamed source revealed that hundreds of miles or more of coastline are not included in any scientific research for fear of what scientists may find. If a dead dolphin is not counted, did he really exist at all? Now for a historical look at hairdos, here's Hippie.
Thanks, Winston. To you, Winston.
Thanks, Hippie. You should see what I can do with my socks. Oh, I hear it's time for our asshole of the week. And this week it goes to narcissistic, skanky whore tramp and baby pimp Susanna Barrett for what, in my opinion, seems to be child abuse. Suzanne Barrett took her 5-year-old daughter and Tots and Tiaras parade for pedophile star Isabella Barrett to the Libation Bar in New York City a few weeks back. While narcissistic, skanky whore tramp and baby pimp Suzanne Barrett slammed the liquor and behaved like a slutty fool, she encouraged her daughter to do likewise by singing "Laugh My Fucking Ass Off" and "I Am Sexy and I Know It" to unknown number of fat middle-aged white guys with money and others at what was labeled a charity drinking event. Why a 5-year-old is allowed to even be in a bar dancing, singing, and basically being man-bait for her mom is unknown to me. Maybe corrupt Mayor Bloomberg should place his spies in some of these upscale bars instead of Occupy Wall Street camps and mosques. But then again, maybe he was there enjoying the drinks and soft porn. Anyway, back to narcissistic, skanky whore tramp and baby pimp Susanna Barrett. She is suing TMZ, the Huffington Post, and the Daily Mail. Get this. $30 million. Narcissistic, skanky, whore tramp, and baby pimp Susanna Barrett says they libeled her and her daughter by posting a video of the soft porn charity event. Narcissistic, skanky, whore tramp, and baby pimp Susanna Barrett says that the songs "Laugh My Fucking Ass Off," "I'm Sexy and I Know It" are wonderful additions to her daughter's repertoire. And Isabella, gyrating on a bar stool, isn't dancing, so saying it is libel, worth $15 million. As far as singing songs about sex and sexual innuendo, Isabella can't even spell LMFAO, and she's not sexy, and she doesn't know it, said her mom. And anyone who says differently is libeling her and her daughter and owes them $15 million for it. Wow, that's creative, if nothing else. So, narcissistic, skanky, whore tramp, and baby pimp Susanna Barrett really going to get $30 million? Or will narcissistic, skanky, whore tramp, and baby pimp Susanna Barrett end up working the door at the Mustang Ranch in Nevada when her daughter is old enough for a work permit? I don't know. But I do know narcissistic, skanky, whore tramp, and baby pimp Susanna Barrett is Worldwide Hippie's Asshole of the Week. That's it. Thanks for watching. Tell your friends and visit worldwidehippies.com for more from our own writers as well as news and stuff 24/7. And make a donation or visit our store at worldwidehippies.com/store so we can keep up the howl for peace and justice. And you will see the Doc, Hippie Woman, Ed Croft, Mikel K Poet, Nabru Magic, and yours truly, Winston Smith, here next Monday.